Hey, what's going on? Joe here, 690ADV. I've got 5 tips for new riders that are coming over into the dual sport side of the world. And if you're coming from the street or the cruiser side, we welcome you. Not only that, these 5 tips are going to help you ride these machines right here a whole lot better. Stick around. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it on the Rant and Ride. Hey, what is up? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully everybody had a great week this week. Hey, you know what? 5 tips for new riders for dual sporting and dual sport motorcycles, especially if you're coming over from the street side, or if you're on a cruiser and you just picked up a dual sport or you're thinking about dual sporting. These are really 5 good tips to help you be a little bit better on that bike, especially if you want to do any type of dirt or anything like that. Definitely will help you. First things first, boots, man. Protection. Protection is really a big deal, so make sure that you have your gear and your protection, especially if you're going to be doing any off-road riding. Street, you definitely want gear as well, but off-road, if you take a dump, you just definitely want to make sure that you are protected. So gear is a really big deal. Basically, helmet, gloves, boots, your jacket, stuff like that. Definitely want to invest into that stuff. Everything that I wear, or all the gear that I have, you can pick that up down below in the description. And I've already done the research for you, so it's definitely going to be about as cheap as you can get. And it also helps the channel out a little bit. So if you pick up anything, we sure do appreciate it. All right, guys. Hey, you know what? Like I said, we're going to ride, and we're going to talk about these 5 tips, especially for the new riders. It just literally is going to help you out in the dual sport world for sure. But yeah, probably one of the main things that you're going to want to learn, and we've got great subscribers, and I'm fairly certain that they're going to help out down in the comments below, is standing up. Standing up on your motorcycle, especially in dual sporting, is really kind of a big deal. And position is very crucial, not only for safety, but also for fatigue and stuff like that. And what I mean by safety is standing up. It is usually better and safer to stand up off-road in technical terrain than it is to not stand up. You have better control of the motorcycle, even though it feels weird. It's just one of those things that you want to practice, even on stuff like this. Like, I'm just riding around the neighborhood, and it's nice. So standing up is really a big deal. So what you want to do is you want to stand with your body just over the tank. And when you're standing over that tank, you want to squeeze your knees to the tank. So if you're looking down, you want to squeeze those knees. And that allows you to drive the motorcycle with your knees. Believe it or not, it will help you off-road when you are riding with those knees close together. You squeeze it, not too hard. You also, if you're wearing your boots, whether it's off-road boots, adventure boots, any of those types of things, you want to make sure that you are in the right spot on your pegs. That will cut down on fatigue. So basically, you want that boot to be basically almost dead center to that peg when you're riding. And when you're standing up, you want to basically have a little bit of an arch with your butt, back just a little bit, and then upwards. You don't want to stand straight up. And what that will do is it helps transfer a lot of that energy through the bike, through your body, and out to where you are not completely fatigued and you get all wore out from riding. All right. Next really good tip. If you're riding off-road, even on-road, it doesn't matter. You hear it all the time. Pick a line. What does that mean by picking a line? And guys that are out there that have been riding for a long time, explain what you do. This is what I do. And like I said, take this. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit there and say that, you know, my ways are the best ways. But these are just things that if you do all the research, this is the stuff that people do, and they do it for a reason. When I mean pick a line, pick where you want to go. The motorcycle follows your eyes, all right? Period. It follows your eyes. So if I look at the stop sign and I'm wanting to avoid that stop sign, guess what? I'm going to go towards that stop sign only because the bike is going to basically, your hands follow your eyes. That's just the way it is. So when you're picking a line, if I want to follow this crack in the road, what I'm going to do is I want to look somewhere between 10 and 15 feet. That's a standard. But if you're off-road and really technical stuff and you're trying to avoid objects, you want to look sometimes even further. So if you're staring at that crack, always pick your line of where you want to be and always be at least 15 feet in front of you, so that way if you're staring down on the front like I'm doing right now, you're going to hit everything in the road. It's just going to happen because your body is going to want to follow your eyeballs. So pick around the object you're trying to get around, stare that out, and keep focusing in the front of you, and then that way it will help you miss those obstacles. Yeah, trust me, that's a big one. Pick a line and stick it. That is a big, big deal. You want to make sure that you're not staring down the nose of your bike, because what will happen is your bike is going to basically, you're going to hit everything if you're trying to avoid rocks or washouts or any of that type of stuff. The other thing is, it's fantastic that you're going to learn, and it can be your best friend or it can be a nightmare. Learn to use your back brake. I know you'll hear it all the time. These are not motocross motorcycles. They're not MotoGPs. These are dual sport bikes. Some of them are more high performance than others, but these in particular are not any of the race bikes. Even though you think that they are, they're not. So learn to use your back brake. It's a big, big deal. The other thing is learn to use your front brake a whole lot less. Reason being is using your front brake can work off-road if you're skilled enough to know how to utilize it. But if you're new, stay away from the front brake. The front brake can be disastrous. It can basically wash you out and it can make you crash, okay? So make sure you focus on that back brake. And not only that, in technical terrain, you want to use, and you'll hear the term, e-braking. What is e-braking? E-braking is using the engine in a very, very low gear so that it actually rolls with the momentum of the engine to slow you down and give you more control. So like if you're out in the off-road doing technical stuff, the e-brake would be like roughly first gear, and then that way, whenever you're trying to go downhill or whatever you're doing, that along with your back brake will help you and make it a whole lot easier to get down that trail or whatever you're trying to do. The other thing is, laying your bike down. It's not a big deal. It's kind of a funny thing that guys will sit there and make fun of you because, you laid your bike or you crashed. It's okay. Everybody lays their bike down. Even the greatest riders in the world lay their bike down. So it's okay. So a good rule of thumb or a good practice is to take your dual sport bike and lay it down in the yard. Just lay it down in the yard and pick it up. Because if you can't pick your dual sport bike up when you're out on the trail, that means you're going to need somebody there always to ride with you. So keep in mind on what dual sport bike you have, so that way you can do it yourself and you don't have to have 90 people with you to get your bike back up. And it's also kind of one of those things, you want to be able to pick your own bike up. Last but not least, this is a one that you really need to make sure you understand and stick to it. And it's so hard when you're riding with other riders because everybody wants to be the best rider in the world. It's fun to go fast. It's fun to sit there and try to throw rooster tails. It's fun to try to jump your bike. It's fun to try to wheelie. But here is the deal. When you're riding, please understand and know what your riding abilities are. And it's okay to practice and try things, but ride within your skill set. And that right there will basically, it'll make you safer, and it will get you to the next place without you having a whole lot of problems. And you're not going to end up hurting yourself trying to show off to your buddies. Now, I know as well as you do that that's going to happen periodically, that you're going to basically get conned into doing something, just know what your skill set is. Anyway, 5 great tips basically to help you ride your bike much better and be safer, especially if you're a new rider. You just want to make sure that you follow those basic tips until you get them mastered down, and then it's going to make you a whole lot better rider. Anyway, if you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you hit subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Be part of the channel. Don't forget, go to 690adv.com and sign up on our website to be part of it. Also, it gets you in to register to win. Like I said, I'm Joe, 690ADV. I hope these tips help somebody, and hopefully all of our subscribers and great riders out there that have been doing it for years will chime in and put the comments down below. I appreciate you. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much. 690 out.